When the so-called weaker person, this completely masking themselves, continue to live like that, then you make yourself, which is person A, and then the person you're representing, I mean the person that you're reflecting, that friend, you're making that person not grow because they thinking that, well, if this person trying to act like me or always trying to wear a mask around me or live this around me, well, I must be doing something right. And so you're both being misleading to one another. And so you're causing this person not to grow up because you rather just live in that spirit of fear and not receiving, just not being who you are. It's levels to it. And this is not about, I'm not talking about sexuality right now. I'm talking about people just being who they are. And the kids in there, I have a respect for them because it ain't nothing easy about being completely who you are. And that's something our parents, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, they didn't really get a chance, even though I'm in my 30s too, I'm just speaking though, in general. They didn't have a chance to be their authentic self because they was told every time they cry, no matter if they really hurt themselves or not, you get your arm cut off, you don't supposed to cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stupid stuff. They had to put this mask on from a young age because of parents not being educated right themselves. Looked at that as a weakness, even though they was wearing a mask themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't a weakness. I'm just trying to get people to be authentically yourself. We ain't talking about nothing else but just being who you are. Because when you be who you are, you help your kids to go out there and to be who they are. Now, the difference between the feminine male and just a complete F-boy is you'll see those feminine guys stand up for what they believe in more. And I'm here to tell you, people don't understand that when you just be yourself, like I'm just myself, I have women of all ages. Women of all ages. And I'm not stunting right now. Women of all ages have offered me and gave me sexual offers and all that. Just because I'm myself. And see, but somebody with an ego and pride, like the F boy or that mask parent, don't understand it. Oh, ain't nobody did that. Ain't nobody. You lying until they see it for themselves. Because they can't wrap their mind around it because they're so used to fake it. And that's why in a lot of my personal relationships in the past, a lot of guys thought like me and their girlfriend was messing around. And it is what it is. But I'm using that as an example for you to get you to understand when you just be yourself, you attract so much more. You attract what you want plus some. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah. So it's not to put the feminine boy down, and it's not to put the F boy down. It's to let you see these are normally the two you get when a masked parent is raising that child. Okay? And that F boy one is the one you really don't want. And I'm gonna be very blunt to get to the point. Just like Ricky Smiley said, that's mainly a representation of like Will Smith's son. You know, because now his dad, even though he was scared to get on that stage and hit that man like that, but you did it because you're letting this Jezebel spirit in this woman. You're letting this Jezebel spirit. We talked about Jezebel spirits on here. Remember I told y'all about that? Check out this little clip and I'll be back with the rest.
Will and Jada briefly met when she auditioned to play the role of his character's girlfriend on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The role was given to Nia Long instead. Later on, when Will saw Jada on A Different World, he realized he was extremely attracted to her. Despite being married to Cherie Zampino at the time, they also shared a son named Trey.
Now be careful, y'all, because remember in the episode a while back, I told y'all that Jezebel spirits will come in, especially when you're in a relationship, and take you away from that quiet spoken type of girl. You know, the one that's seen born and the one that might not be all down for the this, that, and the other. And you'll get seduced. Satan will use a spirit behind that woman or somebody and seduce you up out of that relationship that you're already in. He was already in a relationship and had a child and everything. Despite, if you don't have to be married, you know what I'm saying? You could just be in a relationship and maybe have a child with somebody, and you know that the initial goal is for y'all to probably get married one day. You see what I'm saying? And you see how Satan used that Jezebel spirit in Jada that didn't care, didn't have no boundaries, seeing something that she could mold and shape. And I'm saying this is from women. I heard this from a few women about a man. Okay? Not all women. I'm talking about a few women that I know personally who had a choice between two, and they seen that one was more easier to mold and had a good heart. And for their selfish reasons, they went on ahead and seduced that man and got him involved with them. And a few of them got married and have kids and go on. You see what I'm saying? And some of them don't. But anyhow, normally a Jezebel spirit has you doing things that you weren't doing before. That's the type of woman that like to grab you by the balls when you get home, like get you doing stuff in the bedroom they wouldn't do. And then that's their way of having control over you. Yeah, it might have started, it might be love in a relationship. But ask yourself, how did it start? It started with lust, right or wrong. Now I'm saying this so you can catch yourself. You can kind of with a particular woman. But go ahead and finish listening to this, y'all.
To dinner with Cherie, he went into the restroom and realized he was married to the wrong woman. But he didn't believe that Will pounced on Jada. He asked her if she was seeing anyone, and when she said no, Will replied, "Cool, you're seeing me now." From there, Jada moved from Baltimore to California, and they began dating while Will finalized his divorce and worked on co-parenting with Cherie. By 1995, Will was officially a single man, and his and Jada's relationship continued, although they spent a lot of time apart due to their work commitments. After 2 years of dating, Jada found out she was pregnant with their son, Jayden. 29-year-old Will popped the question in late 1997 with a $250,000 engagement ring, and 26-year-old Jada accepted his proposal under duress. During an episode of Red Table Talk, Jada said she never wanted to get married, but she was under a lot of pressure because she was young and pregnant. 1 month after the proposal, they got married at a private New Year's Eve ceremony in Baltimore in front of 100 guests. Jada said she was about 3 months pregnant during the ceremony. She was dealing with morning sickness and was being very unpleasant and uncooperative the entire day. Not only was she feeling unwell, but she didn't even want to be there. She said, "I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I cried the whole way down the aisle." Many brides experience pre-wedding jitters since marriage is a major life transition. But a wedding therapist named Landis Behar told Insider website that bad nerves can indicate the person isn't ready for marriage or that they're marrying the wrong person. From that point on, Will has explained what it's like to be married to a woman that didn't want to get married in the first place. Jada didn't even want to take on the tradition of taking his last name, October 2000, and Jada told BET's Rock Rants she had a lot of resentment and found it difficult to cope with the restrictions of parenthood. As Will's career continued to flourish, he noticed Jada would wake up many mornings in tears. In his memoir, he wrote that Jada made many sacrifices for their family and put her own desires on hold. Things got even worse when Will persuaded Jada to move into a massive 256-acre Calabasas compound that she didn't even want to purchase. In his memoir, Will wrote, "Nothing good comes from spending your hard-earned money on a family home that your wife doesn't want." So let's see. Not only was Jada against marriage and the ceremony, but she struggled through parenthood and was opposed to living in the lap of luxury with her family. But still, Will held on and tried to make their marriage work. He called his first divorce from Cherie the worst thing he had gone through in his adult life, and he didn't want to go through that again. He started preparing for Jada's 40th birthday party 3 years in advance. On the night of the 2011 event, which was held in Santa Fe, he surprised her with a documentary he'd commissioned that chronicled her life and traced her family's lineage back to slavery. When they got back to their hotel suite that night, Jada told him, "That was the most disgusting display of ego I have ever seen in my life." Will was shocked. He thought he was being the perfect husband, but Jada was furious. They had an explosive fight, which led to a separation, and Will told her he was retiring from trying to make her happy. During their separation, he went to a tantric intimacy expert and visited a shaman to receive some doses of a psychotropic tea to help him cope. Eventually, he and Jada reconciled. Can you imagine spending 3 years planning someone's birthday party only for them to be unappreciative of your efforts? Well, many believe that Jada's attitude stems from Will being nothing more than a rebound relationship she's tied to. Jada has frequently spoken about her friendship with her high school friend, the late Tupac Shakur. Jada claims she and Tupac shared a kiss, but things never got physical between them. A poem Tupac wrote for Jada talks about their relationship, but tells a slightly different story. Will and Jada's daughter Willow even wrote a letter to the deceased rapper. The letter, which was posted on Willow's social media account but was later deleted, read, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy misses you. Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." And when Jada shared Tupac's Lost Souls poem in honor of what would have been his 50th birthday, online users went crazy. One person commented, "Will Smith has been the best in everything else except in Jada's heart." In his memoir, Will admitted he felt tortured by the bond Jada and Tupac shared. Will told GQ that at some
Okay, y'all, that's just a little bit of that. But do you see what happens sometimes when a broken man, once again, this ain't to put nobody down because we're all been in a broken spot in our life and came from brokenness somehow, some way. It's about healing it, recognizing it, and not being fearful to recognize it, then admit it, and to fix it and to move on. So you can have everything that God has in store for you. Will Smith, if you don't know, he was raised in like a Christian background or Baptist background that he comes from. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is when a man is coming from a broken home and is not healed, he cries out and attracts the wrong type of people. You know what I'm saying? And I want to choose my words carefully because, I'm sure it's love in this relationship. But you got to ask yourself, how did it start? Where did it come from? How did it start out? And that's how you'll know if it's kind of like part of God's bigger picture for your life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and so you can see for yourself that he's broken. And I posted a video the other day that had a little interview with the Breakfast Club talking about he felt like a coward most of his life because he wasn't able to protect his mom, and that's part of brokenness too. And so even though you're 50 or 60, when you get older, you're still a big kid inside, and you're a coward. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it so you can find that problem and fix it. Okay, so he's still a coward. You see what I'm saying? He's this big baby basically. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. Just get it fixed. Recognize it so you can fix it. Living in denial ain't gonna do no good. Going out there, like if he heard this, coming over here to hit me in my to beat me up ain't gonna do no good. What's gonna do good is you fixing the problem. You being real enough to say to yourself, wow, it might be something there. You know what I'm saying? And working on that. Okay? And so it started with that unhealthy relationship, and then you have now kids that's a reflection of that. And now, little do you know, they out here trying to be something they not, and God forbid something happened to them, all because you wanted to wear a mask and not fix and heal yourself. Then where that leaves you? Yeah, you might go knock the person out. Okay, then you be in prison or you get killed yourself. It's just ignorance. There ain't no sense to keep doing ignorance after ignorance after ignorance. At some point, we gotta be willing to recognize the obvious and heal from it. And do what we need to do. And then become a real man. Become the best you can be. Like I said, it's never been about whether I was always into girls or women or that. Women always. I never, and I'm using the word in, never, letter N, never had a problem with women or attracting women. Because it was something about me just being who I am that they attracted them. I'm not saying you're a feminine guy. I'm not saying you have to be feminine. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be you. The real man will outshine. The real man in you will outshine any so-called flaws. So if you look at feminine being a flaw, okay, it's going to outshine it. It's going to attract still who you want. You know what I'm saying? Because you're being authentic. Ask yourself why relationships keep going left. Ask yourself, do you have a healthy relationship with your child? I'm talking about a real healthy relationship. Not nothing that maybe seems good or feel good at times. A real healthy relationship. Or is it just working for you? Is it just working? Because if it's just working, it's not going to last too long. Okay? Yeah. So, I incorporated a little bit of the Jezebel spirit in this just to get y'all to see different levels, different things from different point of views, and to also tie into some other stuff I talked about in the past when it comes to Jezebel spirits and breaking generational curses, and for us to stop attracting certain type of individuals that is already planned by Satan himself. Little do you know. Ooh, Lord God. I hope y'all getting this. Think about it. Think about why you keep attracting the same type of situations. And you probably always have been, or people that like to take advantage. Think about it. It's bigger than us. Don't be mad at the person. Just learn what you need to learn, get educated, continue to grow spiritually, and ask God to continue to guide your footsteps and to allow His will to be done in your life. And to shut any door that is not of Him. To shut any door, okay, that is not of your highest good. Love Him and then you. Deuces.